Do you have a photo shoot coming up and you gotta pose somebody and you have no idea what to do? I'm assuming that's why you're here, but don't worry, because I'm gonna give you some of my best tips on how to pose people who are not professional models, who don't have any experience, and maybe you don't have a lot of experience too as a photographer. Don't worry, we're gonna cover all of that in this video. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Number one, if this is for a wedding or an engagement client, I would try to meet them before the photo shoot. Go over everything, get to know them, see what kind of photos that they like. I like to do this just so that we have a little bit of rapport before we actually do the photo shoot. So it's not like some strangers just going, just showing up the day of and taking pictures, even though I have done that many, many times. But for most of my clients, 99% of the time, we are meeting beforehand in person. We're doing a Skype call. So they know me, they've seen me, they've spoken to me before the photo shoot. You're more comfortable with someone that you are familiar with. So try to set up a coffee date. Again, a Skype call, get to know each other a little bit. These are your clients, you're gonna be working with them for the long haul. You think a wedding is just one day, it's not. You're gonna be working with them for like a year and a half. So get to know them and build that relationship with them. The first 10 to 15 minutes of your photo shoot, dedicate to practice time. Don't right off the bat expect a spectacular picture or to get all the shots that you need with someone who's inexperienced. I really see this time as so valuable because someone who has never posed before in their life is not gonna do well in the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. You gotta give them some time to loosen up, get used to the direction. They're becoming more familiar with the process. I find that maybe even the first 20, 30 minutes, people are really awkward, reserved, but then as the time goes on and I'm giving them more direction, you can see them loosen up a little, take more direction, take the time to dedicate the first 10 to 15 minutes as a practice round, as some time for them to warm up. Think of it as a warm up. Another thing that I find always works is giving an action for them to do. When people are actually doing something, they're not focused on okay, I need to pose, I need to do this, oh, I look awkward. So for instance, oh, fix a piece of hair right here. Can you put it behind your ear? And then as they're kind of doing that motion, snap a photo. When they're going to take their hair out of their face right here, this is a pose right here too. And all you need to do is just really refine it. So when they're kind of doing the motion, you can just be like, hey, hold it right there. Let me take a photo. Or you can just snap as they're doing it and they don't even notice. You can kind of be sneaky. It just depends on what level of sneakiness you. But usually people know that they're getting the picture taken, so I feel like it's not, you know what I mean? Like we all know what's going on. Other actions that you can have your clients do. If they're wearing a big dress, hey, flutter your dress out. Can you fix your dress from the bottom? And as they're doing that motion, as they're fixing the dress, you can take a couple pictures. I always have my clients walk backwards with each other, walk forwards with each other, and I'm snapping as they're doing every little bit of movement. Again, these are movements that are so natural to them that they're not thinking, okay, we really have to pose while we're doing this. So you get the most natural looking photos. I like to have the models specifically looking at something. So I will always say, oh, look at that red car right there. Oh, look at that tree right in front of you. Look straight ahead at traffic. So giving them something specific to look at instead of just having their eyes wander, because a lot of the times, I'll show you guys, when I'm looking around, sometimes you get more of the whites of the eyes in a photo, when sometimes you just want them looking straight ahead where you can still see their eyes. So something like this versus something like that, or looking up. So giving them something specific to look at, always gonna be your best bet. Be as specific as possible. Reference photos are a great way to pose your clients. If you ever run out of ideas, if you happen to forget, listen, we've all been there. I've been in very chaotic, stressful environments where even me knowing a billion poses, I just lose all memory and I'm like, what do I do? How do I use this camera? So what I do is I just go to my phone. I have a bunch of poses that I screenshotted from Pinterest. It could be other photographers that I really like their poses, and I'll show those to my clients and I'll be like, hey, can we do this? And then they look at the photo and then they redo it and they kind of mimic that pose. So that's also a really great option, but don't depend on just doing that. That's for emergency, purposes only. When you really forget, you're nervous, and you're like, okay, like I just need to pull out my references here. And absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't let anyone tell you like, oh, you should know all the poses off the top of your head. Like, okay, but I also have bad memory, so it's like a lifeline. Phone a friend, ask the audience, that kind of thing. So another thing that you can do is visually show the pose yourself. I do this so often. If you watch my videos, you'll literally see me like laying on stuff, doing the pose myself. Because sometimes when I'm trying to explain it and describe what I really want from the models, I'm not good at explaining anything. I'm terrible, so I just end up doing it myself. I think that's a great way to visually show somebody, because some of us are visual learners. And referencing the inspiration images from Pinterest, all the poses that you like, take that pose and work off of it. You know, if they're starting out with a pose kind of like this, you know, do something else. Switch it up. You don't have to switch up the entire pose. You can kind of focus in on portraits to begin, really focus in on the portraits, and then move to full body. It's kind of like a natural transition. Do some sitting down, do some standing up, have them sitting on things. I look for stuff that the models can sit on, especially, you know, they can sit on the floor, they can sit on logs or whatever else is there. Have them interact with the background, with the environment. You really have to be observant as a photographer. You have to see what's around you and use it for your photo shoot, because a lot of the times we're missing out on all these little elements that can help contribute to a really cool photo. You guys think I care about logs? I don't, but when I'm doing a photo shoot, I'm like, hey, we have a log there. It's actually, I love logs. Can you sit on that? Can you lay on it? Can you get behind it? Can you put your head on the log? All these different things that you would have never thought of, you think of when you're posing somebody. So think about the environment, what is around you, what can you use as a prop? Which leads me to the next point. A prop is actually a great way to get someone to be a little bit less awkward, because when you hand somebody something, then they change their focus from, okay, I got a model, this is all on me, to, okay, well now I have to model with this object. So it's kind of like a second model. You know, if you give them like a book to hold, maybe they act like they're reading, or okay, like now I have something to do, so I'm less awkward. We've all been there. So introducing a prop, it gives you a nice element for the photo, and again, it gives the model something to do. So they're not hyper focused on, you know, oh my God, like all the attention is on me. It doesn't have to be a fancy item at all. You can get a plain book that they can hold. You can get a flower. You can get a sign. Maybe they have a certain sign or a picnic basket. Some of my clients actually bring their own items that they want to include in the photo. So maybe even asking your client, hey, is there a specific item you want to bring? Some people have stuff in mind, so always ask and see what you can include to make the picture pop. Before we continue, a quick message from our sponsor. From websites to online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace has an amazing all-in-one platform to help you build your presence online and run your business. So it's super important as you're working with these new models, new clients, that you have a place for these images to live, and you want something that will make you look really good and really professional as a photographer. You need a home for all these pictures. And the thing that I use that I really love is Squarespace. They have an amazing, super easy to use platform. It's not intimidating at all. They have stuff like image galleries, so many different choices of different ways to display your images. Do you want a carousel? Do you want to show before and afters? Do you want to have different pages with different types of looks? Squarespace gives you all those options. They also have things like an online store. You can sell presets, you can sell merch on there, and it's really easy to do. It's really not as intimidating as one would think. Someone like me, I don't have time to code. I don't have time to do any of that. They have drag and drop features. Very simple, easy to use. And the thing that I love most is that, again, there's just a lot of different options for us, especially as photographers. If I want to switch out a template the next day, I want to change it up to cater to a different client, I can absolutely do that. They offer so many beautiful designer templates. You can switch them out in seconds, and you can preview them before you even do anything. So you can head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Jessica. Use my offer code Jessica for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So definitely check it out. All that is going to be in the description. So with that being said, let's get to the tips. The last, most important thing that I can ever tell you guys, positive feedback. It has nothing to do with knowing the best poses in the world and having enough experience. None of that even matters. complimenting your models, telling them that they're doing a good job, like actually verbally telling them that they're doing a good job. Oh, that was great. Oh my God, you're doing amazing. Are you sure you haven't modeled before? Like, okay, don't like, be genuine in what you say. Don't like recycle stuff for each client. What did they say? Gas them up? Gas up your clients, you know, like if they're doing a good job, be like, oh my God, you're doing amazing. Positive reinforcement is number one. People respond to it very well, and it does affect them in a very positive way. You know, it's positive reinforcement. So I hope all of this is gonna help you in your next photo shoot, and you won't stand around blankly staring at the sky, wondering what kind of pose you're gonna do next, because you've watched this and you're like, you know what? No, I'm not gonna be scared because I'm prepared. I watched Jessica's YouTube video and she made a couple jokes that were unfunny, but you know what? We learned something from it and we took something away from it. So that's all I can ask for, that you guys laugh at maybe one or two jokes. I really hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you guys want to see more of them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And good luck on your photo shoot. Bye guys.